The words are important because they're funny and people will laugh. I need to know where people are going to laugh.
What would life be without a song or a dance? What are we? So I say thank you for the music, for giving it to me.
My name is Dean Powell. I've been a member of Treochy Male Choir for just over 20 years. I joined when I was 16 and lied about my age, in fact, to join the choir. You had to be 18 to join, and I really wanted to get in through the door. So when most people were lying about their age to get into nightclubs and to buy cigarettes, I was trying to get through the door to Treochy Male Choir's rehearsal room, which is quite a geeky thing to admit in my later years. But yeah, I've been involved with the choir for 20 years as their soloist, as well as their historian and archivist and publicity officer. So a pretty busy boy really as far as the choir is concerned, and it's a great part of all our lives really, myself included. The original Treochy Male Choir was formed back in 1883 in a public house rather close to the school, in fact. It was an occasion where a number of men who were singing in a local chapel choir decided to get together because one of their choristers was emigrating to New Zealand. So they went along to a local pub called the Red Cow, and they decided to have a bit of a sing-song in the pub bar. And there was an Eisteddfod competition being held locally. They sang Myfanwy, which is probably the most loved of all the Welsh folk tunes, won £1 for their efforts, and decided they were so successful they formed their first male choir. So within a few years they were singing in Windsor Castle for Queen Victoria and winning rather a lot of national prizes, and that was the start of the original choir. It did disband during the Second World War because many of the choristers went to overseas to fight for king and country, and was reformed in 1946 by an awful lot of ex-servicemen, which is really why we're sort of so much involved with the Liberation Hymn. And the fact is for the Help for Heroes, because we have a strong connection with military over the years, really because of our origins, as far as the fact that most of those raw recruits were men who were fresh from war. Treochy Male Choir has been very successful really as an organisation the last 62 years since it was reformed after World War II. And we've undertaken a lot of overseas tours. We've made over 50 records, which they say makes us the most recorded male voice choir in the world now. And also appeared with some great stars too. Tom Jones, Ella Fitzgerald, Julie Andrews, Shirley Bassey and the like, and even some more modern performers, the likes of McFly and El Divo and John Bon Jovi and Ozzy Osbourne. So I think we've pretty much done a good selection of singers in our time. But of course, one of the main things about the choir is we are an amateur organisation. Most of us have got full-time jobs or some are retired. And one of the things that we are able to do is raise a lot of money for charity, and at the same time take our music abroad, not just through records and television programmes, but through tours. And we've undertaken a lot of tours, especially since the 80s onwards. I think this will be our 13th or 14th tour now. We're on our way to Australia. We'll be spending 2 weeks in Australia and 1 week in New Zealand. It's our 4th occasion to go to Australia, our first time to go to New Zealand. And while we're there, we'll be performing 21 concerts in 23 days. Quite a big workload really, but then entertaining some of the biggest concert halls a lot in Perth, Brisbane, Adelaide, and finishing off again in the Sydney Opera House. We were the first Welsh choir to sing there back in the 80s, and we've sold it out every time we've been, so if keeping our fingers crossed, we'll sell it this time as well. Jan Ball is originally came to Treochy as an accompanist, as the pianist, back in 2002. And within about 5 years, the position of musical director or conductor became available. And we decided to appoint Jan. And in doing so, she became the first female conductor of the Treochy Male Choir in over 125 years of music making. So the women are definitely in charge in Treochy, and it was the best thing we ever did, because the men I think, enjoy taking orders from women. They're quite used to it with their wives at home, I think.
Yes.
We rehearse in the school twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 till 9. In fact, the school itself is about to have a blue plaque put on the front of it, a blue plaque heritage sign to mark the fact that the choir was formed here after the war in 46. So this has been our home for over 60 years now. So we rehearse twice a week. We perform probably every 2 weeks, and mostly over the border in England. And we want to get over and educate the English, that's why we go over there so much. So we do spend a lot of time on the road, a lot of time together, so it becomes like a way of life, really.
Yeah. The singing is your passion then, really?
Yeah, it is. When you're together so much as a group, obviously you have a great love of singing, we have a great love of entertaining people. And in the same manner, we hope that they get something from it as well, and they're able to raise money for a cause or just enjoy the opportunity of singing. We enjoy the singing, we hope they enjoy listening to us. It's a win-win situation, really. And as a group of men, we're a very close bunch as well. We spend so much time together that you become almost like an extension of the family, really. That family unit is certainly stuck together through thick and through thin, so it's made us a very strong choir in that sense. Yeah, there are certain men in the choir that we like to call the statesmen of the choir, who've been here really a lifetime. There are two gentlemen who still sing in the ranks, Norman Martin and Islwyn Morgan, and they've both been members for 62 years, so they joined just after the choir was reformed. And you can imagine the dedication they've given the choir is immense. But for all that, and I know they would be the first to agree, although we respect them greatly for what they've done and what they've achieved, as soon as you walk through the door and become a member of the Treochy Male Choir, you have the same rights as anyone in the choir. There's no kind of pecking order in that sense. Just because you're getting a little bit older doesn't mean we don't expect 100% dedication and commitment for the choir. Because that's the only way a choir will continue to operate. And you all have to pull together, especially when you understand that you're taking a 21 concert tour of Australia. There's no room for deadwood, to be quite honest with you. You have to all pull your weight. And it's important that everyone does that, and they all know that as well. Treochy Male Choir is a registered charity anyway, so I would say about 90% of our concert work is charity based. Although the greater majority of our albums and CDs over the years have been for the profit of the choir, for us to continue our running costs. A few years ago we did do one charity record for Wooden Spoon, which is a charity organised by British Rugby that looks after disabled children. And then of course we were approached to record the Liberation Hymn by Vernon Hopkins. We'd had some connection with Vernon in the past. Tom Jones was the only member of the choir, for instance, because Vernon played in his 60s band, the Senators. So we always had a bit of a connection there through the Tom Jones family, as it were. And then Vernon came to Treochy and said he'd written this piece of music and would we want to sing it. And as soon as we heard it, we just knew it was a terrific piece of music. So we recorded it, and then we were delighted to hear that they wanted to release it as a record in honour of in honour of the Help for Heroes campaign, with all the proceeds going towards that campaign. And we really couldn't think of a better charity to support, so we gave it our wholehearted backing from there on in, and it really does bring the audience to its feet. It's an arrangement we have of My Way, Frank Sinatra's old classic. It seems to end the choir concerts very, very well on a high note, and then just when you think that the audience will stop clapping, then we go into our own arrangement of Nessun Dorma, and together they really are great showstoppers. Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
And everyone that comes along is come drink with me. Click, go the sheaves, boys, click, click, click. While it is his bow and his hands move quick. Mamma mia,